The door hinges look like something that could have come off of the Titanic. That big old piece of cast iron steel. What? Weather Eye. That just sounds badass for a conditioning system. Would you look at that? The seats recline all the way back. Not sure how impressed the wife is going to be with that feature, but the girlfriend's going to love it. All right, guys. Breaking news. Some of you may know, but I have sold my big sprint car motor. Happened kind of quick. Didn't have it very long, but I have decided to get out of racing. Look, truth be told, your boy's getting old. I'm fixing to hit that big 4.0, and instead of moving around at the speed of light, I feel like I need something more the speed of a rocking chair. You know, a two-speed rocking chair. Low and slow, and then extra low and slow. I just got tired of racing. I'm too competitive, and I'm too poor. And I'm too poor to be too competitive. So I've gotten out of it. And today, last week or so, I've been doing some hustling. And I wanted to find a cruiser. I actually wanted to find a hot rod. I wanted to find something that, you know, I could soup up and maybe take drag racing every now and then and cruise the streets. And I kind of went the opposite direction on that, because this thing gets down at the speed of continental drift, 17 seconds in a quarter mile. So I'm not going to tell you what's under here just yet. I'm going to delay it. Get over it. You're just going to have to wait around to see it. But I will tell you a few hints. I'll give you a few hints. So when this car was made, we were in the middle of Vietnam. Muhammad Ali, for the second time, was giving Sonny Liston the good old 1-2, putting him down for the final time. We had not quite made it to the moon yet. It was before JFK went into the bar and got in a fight with Lee Harvey Oswald and got shot. Hell, this car's older than my mama. This car was built before she was wearing diapers. The last dinosaur had died out just a year or two before. You need to understand something about this car. It's like an ugly chick, okay? But keep in mind, ugly chicks need loving too. And if you've had a few drinks and you turn on the light in just the right manner, and you just dim it down and, you know, maybe turn on some red and blue LEDs and stuff, this thing's got all the right lines. It's rare, it's unique. There's not another one out there. Like my buddy said, somebody poured 10 gallons of ugly all over that car. But again, like the ugly girl in the right light, she's really got it going on. And trust me, your boy knows a thing or two about ugly chicks. All right, let's go ahead and get the cover off this thing and we'll take a look. Now I wonder, whatever happened to Sarah Gilbert? You don't hear much from her anymore. Damn, that was a good looking woman. Oh, back on track here. So here's under the hood. We've got some action happening under here. Look at that. Motorola. Bet y'all never knew Motorola made alternators and voltage regulators. Here is the power plant, the legendary 327 that made right out of the box 900 horsepower. Like it was a street killing machine. No, that's a lie. It made more like 270 horses. And they weren't even thoroughbred horses. They were kind of like Shelton horses, you know. They weren't even rabid and pissed off. They were just happy to exist. This is the AMC 327. And I guess I've teased y'all long enough on this. I'll go ahead and close this hood down. So this is a 1965 AMC Rambler Marlin. Now, why did I say that with hyphenation in my voice? Well, because they only made this car for 3 years. They made it in 65, 66, and 67. Now, 67 was completely different than 66. And then 65, it was the AMC Rambler Marlin. In 66, they dropped the Rambler part and it just became the Marlin. So this is the first generation, first bloodline. She's in really immaculate shape. There's a little bit of rusting under the hood at the windshield wiper motor, but other than that, there's no rust on this car. She needs a little touch up on the paint. Somebody did the old Tanya Harding number on the door here, but that can be fixed. It's okay. It needs a little touch up work in the paint. We've got a couple of goodies in here. Now this is cool. This car was a show car. This is the exact car right there. These gentlemen right here, these two gentlemen, Paul and Danny Nolan, originally bought this car when it was brand new. This is the original owner's manual. And guys, I'm kind of confused. I really don't know what to think about this. I've went through this book 2 or 3 times, and I see key features in here like how to adjust the valve train, or how to check the valve train. There's really no adjustment, but how to check the valve train and how to do some basic maintenance. But I don't see anything in here that tells me not to drink the windshield wiper fluid or the antifreeze. So I'm kind of concerned on how I'm going to remember that, but I'm just going to have to glue it to my head. There's a little model car kit that came with it. There's a service manual and parts catalog. We've got some chromage going on in this side. Locking center console. Look at that. I didn't even know that was in here. Got the original radio. We got the aftermarket radio. The old quartz clock in it. The headliner is immaculate. I'm gonna give you a little history on this car. On this particular car. So this particular car belonged to an individual that bought it brand new in 65. And he held on to it for years and years and years, and a couple of times it's been touched up on the paint and stuff like that. But it's never been in an accident. It's got no rusting going on. The whole undercoat is still there. Now, somebody has put dual exhaust on it. You can still see some of the factory paint underneath the factory rhino lining. So, cousin buys it brand new, has it for years and years and years. It goes and wins a couple of car shows, ends up in a magazine or two, in a calendar or two, and then it gets parked indoors. And pretty much that's where it stayed. Look, vintage keyage, vintage ignition sticks. I thought the keys were really cool because you could tell they were really old school. So anyway, one of the cousins jumps up and says, "Hey, it still got that old Marlin we used to ride around in as kids?" And the other cousin says, "Oh, yes, I do." And the other cousin's like, "Hey, I'd like to buy it." And the other cousin says, "Okay, bring me cash." And other cousin buys it, drove it around for a little while, then gets deployed to Iraq, is gone for several years, got wounded. He actually got hurt. And he comes home and he's like, "Man, I want to go drive my car." Well, he goes to fire her up and finds out he's got bad fuel lines. And he's got some bad fuel lines, and time has just not been good to it. Setting around, she's just kind of lost her way. And he started to fix some stuff under it. He put some new fuel lines under it and rebuilt the carb and put a new fuel pump on it. And it was getting harder for him, being, a disabled vet, to kind of keep up with it. And he ended up deciding to put it for sale. And it popped up on For Me on Facebook, Bookface. And the first time I seen it, I was like, "Oh, dear God, what is that?" I thought it was ugly. And I'd never heard of one, so I ended up going and doing a whole bunch of research on it and found out that they only made, in 65, they made 10,000 or so, give or take. 66, they made less than that. And 67, even less. So there's only 18,000 of these in known existence, when they were made. Now, they say that about less than 2% of those are probably still on the road today. Now, in 65, when this one was made, only half of them came out with a V8. And then less than that, half that again, and only a select few came out with the automatic. All the others were manual with an overdrive. So this is pretty rare. It's got some specialties going on to it. She's going to clean up nice. I'm going to have to get some touch-up paint done to it. Fixed the old Tanya Harding number on the door. I've got a little rust under the hood. I'll patch panel that or something like that. You know, like I said, we got that beautiful 327 under there that we're going to have to go through. And we're going to have to probably do new oil pan gasket, timing cover gasket, transmission pan gasket. But man, this car had a lot of unique features and options. This is one of the first cars that started right from the factory, offered disc brakes in the front end. It was also one of the first that offered power brakes. A lot of uniqueness went on here. A lot of special things that this car was first to. This thing was originally built to compete with Ford Mustang. And no, it didn't. This was the AMC at the time was the only independent car company left in America. There's a little history on it. Go on the old interwebs, do some pointing and clicking, and do some research on it. Look up an AMC Rambler Marlin or an AMC Marlin. Not a lot of them. Unfortunately, the car cover that's on it has done this, but this is easily fixed. We could fix that. Little wiring to repair. This is absolutely a beautiful car. Somebody really loved this thing. And it's time we get it back on the road. We should see daylight again every other day or every day. All right, y'all take care out there.
But a soft top.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what year it was, but it was a black, non-reversible top, and it was some kind of a turquoise-looking color. Oh shit, Rambler, fucking A, dude. Oh, I'll trade you. Not really, but yeah.
She needs a little work. I'm going to have to address some wiring issues with it, and I'm going to have to fix the door over here at some point. The door
Cover's okay?
Oh yeah, they need touched up. They need to be, addressed a little bit. But
man. Oh, make my day. That pretty Rambler Javelin Barry bought off the car lot up in Chattanooga, and it was sitting in the window. Anyway, he kept it a little while, and then he offed it to his brother, who kept it a little while, and he ended up getting killed or died or whatever. Little Benny. This son of a bitch, yes. Oh, I love this color. Does it say what color it is?
I've got a whole bunch of build sheets on it and paperwork information somewhere there. I'm sure it does. Like I said, I figured it was right up your alley when I seen it, and
shit.
Like I said, I said something. I had it under the cover, and I sent pictures of it under the cover. I said, "Look at the roof line. Can you tell what it is?" And I thought he'd say something like Barracuda or something, because it looks like a Barracuda from the back.
Sort of, yeah.
And
it
no,
does. I never knew about a Marlin that I could remember.
I don't either. They only made
Barracuda, yeah.
They made less than 20,000 of these. They made it 65, 66, and 67. And the first year, this is the first year, in 65, it was a Rambler Marlin. Yeah. And then 66, they changed it to just a Marlin. And then in 67, they changed the roof line and some other stuff, and that was the end of it. But this being the first year, they made 10,000 of them, give or take, and then only half of them had the V8. Well, this is a V8 one. And then half of those had the automatic. So this one's really rare. I mean, that's why I kind of jumped on it and said, I'm just going to have to make it work somehow.
I love this color.
She's sharp.
It's like a bluish, greenish turquoise.
Yeah.
Or something.
Certain light it
I'll
looks
put
green, and the other
yeah.
light it looks blue. But oh, here, you want to see something really cool? Hold on.